Hi folks, today I have for us a video from Homeless Audits, where he gets a call from a Pinellas County Sheriff's officer, but possibly committing a criminal offense on the phone call. But before we start today's video, a big thank you to all of my current and new channel members and subscribers. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep this channel going, so I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the page. Leave a like and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my second channel, NCR Movie Network, and the podcast, the Craptown Florida Man Power Rankings. Episode 27 will be out later today. With all that being said, let's enjoy.
Hello, how may I help you?
Hello, is this Andrew?
It is. Who am I speaking with?
This is Sergeant Anderson from the Pasco Sheriff's Office. I got a message from Dade City Police Department that you were actually wanting to talk to a Pasco supervisor.
Yeah, that's correct. So my name is Andrew. I'm with Homeless Audits. What we do is we Homeless Audits.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
My dad.
I've never heard of it. Okay.
No, we're not really, we're not, YouTube famous or anything like that, so you might, you might not know who we are. That's not what we do. We check on ordinances that are deprecated or antiquated after, new case law, because obviously case law is established all the time. And in Florida, there's been a lot of case law been established concerning panhandling ordinances, things like that. Even new case law established concerning camping on public grounds and things like that. So we're basically a group that goes and checks to see how they're being enforced, if it's within the standards of current case law. And we had.
Okay, so you're basically like a media.
No, we're not media at all.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm a data analyst. We're just so we're homeless advocates, but not media.
Shenanigans.
No.
Shenanigans.
No.
And we're calling shenanigans, folks, because homeless audits are not advocates. They are not data analysts. They are a family of frauditors with some sovereign citizen mentalities. In the videos I've covered on this channel of them, we've heard them say that their whole point is to get these tickets so they can try to file frivolous 1983 civil rights violation lawsuits. No notion of that says that they are advocates. They have no notions of being data analysts. Even he said this is all about how he gets his paychecks. So this isn't about trying to be an advocate for the homeless or trying to get data analytics for the homeless populations, and if the violations they are getting are accurate or violate.
We do litigation with other groups and stuff like that who are interested in the same things sometimes, and it has gone that direction. But, we try not to, we're not very litigious. But yeah, the reason I'm calling you though is there was an interaction with several of your deputies and one of our auditors and myself for that matter. It was a Deputy Watson, and I don't know, I'm sure you're not a supervisor, but that's who the deputy we had interaction with as a primary. And he was he pointed out an ordinance that I was unfamiliar with in your county codes of I believe is 8-2. It was on the road usage ordinances. And
8-2.
hold on, maybe it's 18-2. Let me I had to pull it up. Let me see here. It was -1. Hold on. It is 82-1. Maybe let's see here. That one was
Well, we're waiting.
qualitative data reviews. Let me just pull my paper up. Watson. So this one, let me stop that one. This was on 82-1.
82-1. And that's a Florida statute?
No, it's under a county ordinances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
not FSS, but county. And he was reading it, and it does absolutely have some legislation that deals with what hand-to-hand transmissions between a motorist and a pedestrian was written in there. And recently in 2024, there was the Messina versus Fort Lauderdale case, where the Florida Justice Institute was working on that case, and there was a recent decision where the court found that it was unconstitutional and enjoined the defendant in the case, which was the city of Fort Lauderdale, from enforcing it under an injunction. So that case set precedent, actually more clarified to cities and cities around the state of Florida, at least, that the hand-to-hand transmission is permittable under the constitutional rights. The sign things, the passively holding a sign by the road, was mostly from the Reed versus Town and Gilbert out in Arizona. It was a SCOTUS decision. So Clarence Thomas read that with a decision and established that content-based restrictions on freedom of speech are unconstitutional. They had to be content neutral. So various things like that have kind of paved the way for how cities can deal with or can enforce things toward the panhandlers and homeless people in their area. So that's what we kind of handle. I don't know if everyone's aware.
Yes, the Supreme Court has been making rulings when it comes to panhandling. The act of panhandling itself is technically not illegal, and it is constitutionally protected. However, a lot of the city ordinance are cracking down on the aggressive panhandling, those who are demanding money, those who are getting in the roadways, those who are getting in the medians of the highways and demanding people to give them money or food or whatever. Now, yes, the Mancy case did have a ruling where the city of Fort Lauderdale had a permanent injunction placed on their panhandling laws. However, it does not stop them from coming up with new laws to stop aggressive panhandling and to protect people on the roadways.
Of it, or it's just something we deal with. So in this interaction, Deputy Watson informed us of 82-1, and he actually brought up one piece in there about solicitation on or near a roadway, because in Hillsborough County, which is where we have a current case at, they have a ordinance that's on or near a roadway. So within 4 foot of a roadway, they say no solicitation. Well, in Pasco County is a little different. How y'all did it is that there's a definitions in your roadways includes 4 foot of the curbside, outside the curb of the road. So it's within the definitions. And then you have the no solicitation on a roadway, which then includes the same definition, including the 4 foot outside the roadway. It's kind of how it's written here. So it's very, very, very slightly different, but for all intents and purposes, is the same ordinance. And because you're one county away, and we currently have a case in Hillsborough County, it just saves everybody time to kind of get everything together. Is that another one? You can answer that.
Hello?
Is that Dade City? Y'all be keeping me busy.
They're keeping you busy because you're demanding these supervisors call you. Now, here's something that we haven't noticed at all in this video. He has not informed the supervisor of Pasco County that he is recording this conversation. Now, this could be considered wiretapping due to the fact that Florida is a two-party consent state. Both parties must be aware of the recording. This is a similar thing that got Jeremy DeWitt a wiretapping charge that was upheld when he did not notify a person who called him about his company and their actions that he was recording the conversation with his body camera. Now, the deputy did not say at any point in the beginning of the conversation that he's on a recorded line. Neither did homeless audits.
I'm on Dade City. I'm on the phone with Sergeant from Pasco. I'll give them a call. Can they give me a call back in 15 minutes? Okay. So what's going on now is that we Florida's still got a lot of antiquated ordinances, and this is one of those that is has been addressed in the courts here, and so yeah, that's I'm wondering why Deputy Watson.
Are you wanting to file a complaint against Deputy Watson, or?
Well, I mean, Deputy Watson did not. He did not
I'm not sure what your
Well, he didn't issue citations, so we have to like collect the citation first, because without damages, there's nothing to contest.
Wrong!
And you are wrong about this. You see, if you wanted to contest the city ordinance or the law itself, you could just get a lawyer to do that. You could file a pro se motion even. However, you're bringing up damages, meaning you want a monetary remedy for what's happened. So you want them to give you a citation so you can try to say that your rights were violated. That's the only reason why you would want the citation, so you can collect damages. Now, if this was truly about changing the law, like I said, you could go pro se or get a lawyer to challenge this in the courts.
And so in this particular interaction, Deputy Watson did not issue any citation or create a record of enforcement. But so in that case, I don't really, and he was professional. He was just misinformed. He was under the impression.
Basically, over the weekend,
They're trying to educate.
he'd have to do it,
The current,
essentially the sheriff's office. Well, so one deputy's view doesn't. So sometimes we have deputies that maybe aren't as informed as others, if you will. It's kind of the easiest way to put it. But typically speaking, this would be something that would be better served. I'm trying to figure out what your. So it's one deputy.
Yeah, the other ones that were with him.
I mean, we do have county ordinances and stuff that address that, and there's state statutes. There's
Hold on.
16 of the traffic laws. There's a lot of different ways to address panhandling.
Panhandling is a constitutional right, though. So hold on. Panhandling is a constitutional right. So it's very, very clear.
Well,
very clear.
I'm not going to get.
Again, he doesn't understand what he's talking about. Panhandling is not a constitutional right. Yes, it is protected under free speech, which is a constitutional right. However, panhandling itself is nowhere mentioned in the Constitution. However, you do have a right to panhandle, to express yourself under the First Amendment. Now, the real question is, what do you want this sergeant to do? You didn't get a ticket. If you're trying to educate them, you're doing that. But what more do you want?
I don't want to get into a debate with you because I'm not a spokesman for the sheriff's office. That would have to be done by the public information officer. I'm not allowed to essentially.
Can we come and collect the ordinance violation? Because he was unwilling. He was unwilling to enforce. What I'm getting at is Watson was unwilling to enforce 82-1 on the hand-to-hand transmission ordinance or on the solicitation on roadway ordinance. He was unwilling to enforce them. We're kind of anxious to move on to the next city.
He utilized his discretion then, yeah.
So can we, so since the ordinance exists, the legislation's on the books, and we're looking to challenge that legislation, can we just come to the sheriff's office and commit the offense and then have it enforced?
Is this just a genetic thing with you? Is it congenital? Did your mother drop you on your head when you were a baby?
I thought you said you didn't receive a violation though.
Right, but we know now that the legislation exists on your books. So we have to get the legislation repealed off the books. In order to do that, that
would be with the Board of County Commissioners. That wouldn't be necessarily the sheriff's office because the laws and things are passed through the government, not necessarily so laws are passed through the government, and then the sheriff's office enforces the laws.
Yes, so you're bound to enforce that law. So we can commit a violation of that law and get an enforcement and a citation for that violation, right? I mean, are you telling us that you won't enforce it or something? I don't understand.
Essentially, depending on the situation, yeah. I mean, any given scenario could land you a citation or even worse.
Yeah, we don't want it to be subjectively enforced, though. I mean, it should be enforcement of something should be objective.
Well, it's not subjective. So law enforcement officers, when dealing with ordinances or traffic violations and things of that nature that are non-criminal,
Yeah.
and even in some cases criminal, law enforcement has discretion. They're able to use discretion based on the situation, which is a good thing for the citizens because, you know, somebody may have a very bad emergency, and hence why they're violating the speed. And so maybe the deputy's going to use discretion and not write that person a ticket because they're trying to get to the hospital.
But that type of discretion is a little different than it just
call an ambulance.
Well, that type of that's a great example. Let me give you another example that might happen.
The supervisor has explained it so well. The officer used his discretion. Now, he could have given a citation and a fine, but he used his discretion. That's perfectly legal. This isn't some big deal. If you truly feel that these laws on the books are unjust and unconstitutional, you don't need to get arrested to have standing. You don't need a ticket to have standing. You just need to go to the courts or to the county legislation and tell them, fight it in the courts. But if you want a ticket so you can say there were damages, that's the only reason you would do this, so you can try to file a 1983 civil rights violation. It's not about getting these laws off the books. It's about you trying to get a payday.
A deputy sees an actual homeless person with very little means, and they enforce something that's unconstitutional on that person, and then somebody like myself, which is imploring them, asking them to objectively enforce the same ordinance on us because we have the means to challenge that, and they say that they won't do that. That would be a different type of subjective enforcement, wouldn't it?
That's a little bit of an opinion I would have.
Well, that's what we're asking. Can you issue us a?
Everybody's entitled to.
Well, no, that's not. I'm asking you flat out. Can we come to your sheriff's office, can violate that ordinance, and have it objectively enforced on us? Indiscriminately, objectively enforced on us.
I don't know that you can. I don't know that you can violate the panhandle statute at our sheriff's office.
Sure, I could go right out in front of your sheriff's office and get a hand-to-hand transmission from a car passerby.
Well, it's not necessarily a hand-to-hand transmission. I think you need to read the. Well, I would encourage you to read it.
I did.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
And be familiar with it.
I did.
That's normally what I tell folks.
Yeah.
Because interpretation can come into play as well. So it's not just hand-to-hand. There's more to it than that.
Well, there's several different areas, but hand-to-hand actually satisfies the nature of one portion of it, where solicitation satisfies the nature of another portion of it.
And this is where the video ends. Clearly, he's just trying to get the citation so he can try to claim damages and a violation of his civil rights. The officer who gave him the citation, well, didn't give him a citation, I should say, used his discretion. This is clearly nothing more than a money grab from somebody who doesn't want to work and who's blatantly made statements that he gets paydays by suing cities. So if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my second channel and the podcast. With all that being said, be well, be safe, and I'll see you guys. And a special thank you to the news team. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. You guys mean the world to me, and I could never thank you enough.